What's going on, everybody? Hutch here. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've brought you a Jeep project video, but it doesn't mean I haven't been working on it. So I wanted to put this video together. It has a lot of little projects that I worked on, and I'll explain what I did throughout the video. But at the beginning of this video, this needed a really good engine bay detail. So at the beginning of the video, I detail the engine bay. It's been through Michigan winters and on dirt roads, so I went ahead and gave it a thorough wash. So anytime it comes to cleaning an engine bay, there are certain things that I like to do that others may not. And for me, I like to put plastic bags over the battery, the alternator, and then as you see here, I stuff towels into the air box because I almost forgot. It did stay dry, no worries. But I rinse everything down, and then I spray with APC, let sit for a little while without it drying, and then I go in with a lot of different brushes, and one's a stiff brush, you'll see here, another one is a wheel brush, and then I go down to a more detailed brush to get into the tighter areas. And then a final rinse, and then I like to blow dry it, and then start the vehicle, just make sure everything's running right. And then if there's any areas that I miss, I will wipe it with a microfiber, and then I'll put some sort of a plastic protectant. I like to use 303 aerospace, but that's not a necessary step. It's just something that I like to do. So the next project that I worked on was coating the underbody, trying to eliminate all the rust. And I'm just going to apologize beforehand for all the camera angles. I didn't get a lot of great camera angles. I did not lift the Jeep. I wish I would have had a lift and been able to leave it in a garage or a shop for a week or so and just been able to do this the right way, but I just wasn't able to. I had to do this in my driveway. So here's a few before shots. The exterior of the Jeep was especially bad. But the product that I used was POR 15. If anybody knows, that's a really good product to cover and eliminate the rust, there's a few steps that you have to take with it. You have to first, as you see me doing here, I'm rinsing all the undercarriage, and then you have to use one of their degreasers. I went ahead and used Super Clean on it first, just because the underbody was especially bad. I'm scrubbing in a few areas. But you have to use their degreaser that they provide for you in a kit, and then you have to use a metal etcher, which they also provide in a kit. There are several ways that you can apply PUR 15. I chose just to use a brush, and it got quite messy. So I was prepared with gloves, long sleeve shirt, as you can see here. I had a full face shield, which was great. But what ended up happening is the PUR 15 was running down my arm, and it was getting onto my sleeves, and it actually stained my skin for a little while. So you'll see in later clips that I got a little smarter with it. Here's the cleaner degreaser metal prep that they provide for you right there. There's a shot of it. I got some industrial gloves. I got a full painter's suit, and I used my face shield. It had a hood on the painter's suit also. And then I taped my gloves so that nothing could run down into the suit. So I wish I would have thought about this before. If you're thinking about doing PUR 15, please take my advice. You'll see me just portioning it out here. They tell you to put saran wrap over or plastic wrap over the paint can, and then put the lid over it, because sometimes you have trouble getting the lid back off of the can when it's been sitting for a while. So there's another little tip. I never had a problem getting the lid off when I put the plastic wrap over it. So take that little tip. But here, the camera angles are bad. I really do apologize for that. It's the best I could do with the circumstances I had. But as far as the performance of the PUR 15, this was my first coat. They say to do 2 coats. Wait for it to dry. I forget how long they tell you to wait for it to dry, but I did let it dry, the first coat, for a little while. Or maybe you let it get tacky and then put a second coat. I might have done that. Just read the instructions. But anyways, you can see the drips coming down, and this is my first day doing it, so it was a hot mess. But when everything was said and done, I had 2 coats on. It looked really good. And you'll notice that I'm not doing everything. I'm not doing my springs. I'm only doing the parts that I know I'm not going to replace, because some of the parts on this Jeep need to be replaced. So I'm not doing everything, but I'm trying to get the frame, a lot of the components that I know I'm going to keep. One thing I forgot to mention about the PUR 15 is that they do recommend that you remove loose rust. And needless to say, there was a lot of loose rust under the Jeep, as well as a lot of dirt that just couldn't get removed from the degreaser step and the rinse step. So I just ended up sanding it off. That's what a lot of this part is right here. It's super satisfying to watch all of that dirt and dust just get removed right there. But that is a lot of just like surface dirt and grease and rust and whatever. So yeah, I spent some time under there with several different products, sandpaper and uh, wire brushes and everything, just to get all that stuff knocked off to get it ready for the PR15. And I will say that I took it in sections. So the first shots where I was doing the very back end of the Jeep, that had been rinsed and had been I got rid of the rust. Now here you'll see me rinsing the middle part of the Jeep. So I degreased it, rinsed it, degreased it again, metal prep, and then rinsed, and then let it dry, and then applied the PR15. So I took it in little steps, and I broke the Jeep up into different areas so that I wasn't taking on too much at one time. So one of the other concerns I had was the POR15 getting on my camera. So I apologize for the lack of footage, but I promise you the POR15 got applied and I will have after shots. So quickly moving on to another project, because I removed all the carpet in the Jeep, I decided to go ahead and add some electrical wiring conduit, and I just bought it off of Amazon. And then I use Scotch tape Super 33 Plus. It's really good electrical tape, and I just applied it to both ends of the conduit, and I just cut it to size and then applied the tape on each end. And it actually turned out really well. I figured if people are going to be getting in and out of the vehicle, I want to make sure that the wires were protected, and I think this did a really good job at doing that. And then where there was zip ties before, I went ahead and zip tied it again. And again, I think it turned out really well. It looks nice in the Jeep too. So yeah, I think this project turned out well overall. I also wanted to mention that there were two different sizes of the conduit that I used. I used a 3/4 inch for the larger bundles of wires and then 1/2 inch for the smaller bundles of wires. And I bought 10 foot of each, and it was actually just about right for all of the wiring in this Jeep. And another thing I wanted to mention is that all the clips that you see that are holding the wires down, I removed those and then put the conduit on and then put them back on to the outside of the conduit so that I could put them back uh, in the holes where they went. Another project that I worked on was scuffing all of the exterior and interior surfaces to get it ready for the truck bed liner coating. And I started on the roof, and there were some bad rust spots on the top of the roof, and you can actually see that there's a hole right there. I filled that in with some Bondo. I didn't film that boring stuff. You've seen that already, but I'm just tackling these rust spots on the roof first, and they started to bubble, so I wanted to get those flattened and then fill in the holes, and then I applied a rust converter to all of those. And so then I start on the outside on the paint, and I did this on the whole exterior of the vehicle. The entire thing needs to be scuffed so that the truck bed liner can adhere to the paint. And so I did that to the whole exterior and to the entire interior, which you will see as well. So the only other thing that I've done to the Jeep since these videos were taken was put the seats and all of the door panels and center console back into the Jeep so that I could use it. I wanted to use it to take our bikes to the bike trail or go camping or take the kids somewhere or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll leave you with some after shots of what the Jeep looks like right now. And so I'm still waiting on the truck bed liner to get applied, and when it does, I'll have another video for you guys on that. So take care. I'll see you in the next video.